Hey, what is up everybody, it's me PS333. Here we are today on Jungle for our 8th video of our Black Ops glitching series. We're going to begin by getting outside the map at this rock formation on the side of the map. I find it to be the easiest spot to breach out of all of Jungle area. I like to do one of two breaches. Either this one right here in this corner of the rock, or on the other side of the rock where that on the care package is on the radar. Basically on the other side of this rock formation. So you're still breaching the rock, just at a different location. And I find it to be the easiest out of everywhere in Jungle. I'd say this map though is about a medium difficulty for a breach. It's not as easy as firing range, I can tell you that. But when you're outside here, stay as close as you can to the map because the area to my right of me is very small. There's not much of the land that is real, so be very careful. When you get to the wagon though, you can't hug the wall too much. You kind of have to wiggle your way around the wagon very carefully. And I'd suggest you plant your attack here. And I'll show you where you can go, but you can actually swim in all this. It's really cool. Just don't go too close to the map because you know that mortar area where you can dive, like mortars will actually fire at you. Be careful of that. But you can go way up to my right of me. You can go way up there. It's very cool. You can go up and down these water levels. Now right here is it can be very difficult. My friend can't do it for the life of him. But if you just kind of swim down, just ever so lightly, and look up at the right spot, you can get up. Now from here, just try to run at this little mountain here, or hill you want to call it. And once you get up here, kind of hook your way, make sure you stick out enough, and hook your way around onto the land here where these vehicles are. Remember this spot because we're actually going to be coming back to it. But from here, you can actually jump over into this river. But just make sure you look up though, so you can swim up though. And then from here, you can follow the whole river. Now remember this, you'll see a little bump right there that I went over. It's a barrier that you actually can go on. If you actually really try, you can actually land on that barrier. But we're not going to do anything with it right now. I'll mention it a few times throughout the video, but we're not actually ever going to go on it. But anyways, like I said, remember this vehicle spot. We're now back at it. Now I'm just going to show you all the spots you can get from here. All the vehicles are real besides the fuel trucks, I believe. So you can hop on all these. And that barrier that I was talking to you about in the river actually goes past one of these tents in the ground. I can't tell you the exact location. I landed on it by accident from a care package. I've also followed it before by laying down on it and being very careful. It does go quite a ways. It makes it back over to where I did that when I swim out of the water and onto the land. It goes around that area in another small river, but I'm not going to show you that river in the video. It's over there, but it's nothing too special. Yeah, I'll kind of like mention it again when we get near it. But as for now, all these vehicles like the helicopters and all that, you can put your attack on them if you really want to, but I like to keep my attack back there. I was going to show you all of what you can do in one go here. I think the barrier was just right there where I jumped over. I can't remember exactly, but now if you have the fast speed, obviously you can just hop on over to the other one. If not, make some care package hopping. All up to you if you want the fast speed or not, but you do not need it. It is not a requirement for these glitches. It's just a lot easier, and it's not hacks. Anyone can do them, so you might as well put them on, right? And people keep asking why don't we put other glitches besides care package glitches, and I'll mention that in a second. Because there's not really any other glitches in the game, but I'll refer to that in a second. But I'm just going to show you how to get back, because I know it's a lot more difficult. But see that wooden cabin that's kind of raised above the swamp? Do not go near it because there is the mortars will attack you there. So make sure you take that spot wide. I've also tried making a stack and jumping on top of that wooden deck up there. You can get on it, but you will die. So you don't have much time on it. It's not worth the hassle. But I just wanted to show you guys how to get back. Usually I don't show you how to go back, usually I just skip to the point. But in this area I kind of want to show you, it's a little tricky because you have to be really careful. Don't risk your attack like I am right now. It's not really the best choice, but you can come right back on land from here, which is really cool. And then you kind of make sure you just wiggle your way around here very safely and you should be able to get back. But that area where I dove down in the water and come right back up on land the first time around, my friend Combat can't do it for the life of me. He's great at glitching, but he can barely do it. He has done it before, it's just really hard for him. It does take some skill, but if not, you can always do care package hopping. Now here, I almost failed to jump. I'm probably about a foot there. I almost screwed up. I would have died there. I already went back inside this map twice. I had to breach out of this map 3 times, being cocky pretty much, doing stupid stuff like that. But you think after I failed to jump like that, you think I would have like clued in and kind of learned not to actually put my attack down, but I still risked to jump like an idiot. Surprisingly, I didn't go back inside the map. Probably should have after I saw that failed jump there. But I just want to mention here that where this archway is down the river there, you can go in water if you go through that archway, but I'm not going to show you this video because I was kind of rushing in order to get on these care packages. But if you go through that archway, you can go swimming in a little small spot, but I only like to go swimming in these big areas like this one here, just make sure you go one care package on the other side of the wall, and then one right there, and then you can just basically just kind of jump towards it. It's quite an easy way to do it. But from there, you can kind of go up and down all these different levels of the swamp. Pretty cool area. Now, if you want to get back up on land, you just kind of come right over here on the second level, and you should see like this little lip of the swamp connect. Right there, you can just swim right on up, and you can get right onto open land. Now from here, you're going to want to get a tactical insertion, and then you can plant your attack here, and then you can kind of go from here, because you don't want to go all the way back from that, because those two carriers can be quite awkward. So now I got my attack, I'm going to show you this one other area that you can swim in. Kind of another cool area you can get to. It's not the same as the other ones. You guys keep thinking I'm going to the same one, because they are quite similar. But Jungle, it's got to be one of my favorite maps to get out of. It's quite cool, especially with all the swimming and all the exploration that you can do. Especially a lot of area you can actually do solely, as you saw at the very beginning as soon as I breached out, right? But so you got all this area from sprint jumping. Obviously you're gonna need the fast speed, or you can just hop on care badges over here. I actually almost fell right here. I kind of saved myself there. But so now that we're going back here, now you gotta be careful here, because when you go up this cliff, there is like the sky barrier is right above my head, so I can't even stand here. And don't risk your attack like I am doing. Once again, I'm being an idiot. Shouldn't have done it. Probably why I deserve to go back inside the map twice already. I had to breach out of here 3 times at the beginning. Except for that reason, it was actually because I kept forgetting my attack. So wiggle your way around here. Now right here is a death trap, because if you fall, you're in a big trench between the barrier and the hill, and you can't get out of that. I got my friend out of one of them, but it was a very minor one at the very beginning with an RC car. I kept pushing him. It took me about 20 minutes to get him out of there, but I actually managed to get him out of there. But when you come over here, there should be an indent in the mountain where there's enough room to stand, and you can plant down your tactical insertion. Now from here, you do a run jump over to this other cliff very carefully, because there's a barrier right above you, obviously, right? The sky barrier. Now the barrier inside here is not the same barrier as I was referring to in the river. It is quite close. The river is right to the right of us. You can jump to it from here, but we're not going to be doing that in the video because I already showed you the river. Now we're going to be going in the barrier. This barrier goes all the way outside the map, miles around the map. It's quite insane. But to get a tactical in here is quite tricky. You kind of have to throw care badges out of the ground that you're kind of under, and then the care badge will land on the other side, kind of like a two-way mirror almost. They don't go through one way. But so get an ammo, and then plant your ammo in here, well, your tactical insertion. Then you're gonna kind of inch your way up towards the barrier, because we're gonna have to go really close to it so we can grab it when we get it back up there. Because we're gonna be going on top of a higher level of the barrier. There's like 2 different levels, so I'm gonna come lay down, because when you're laying down, you can't fall off moving left and right. You can only move off. You fall off moving forward. But in this case, there's a higher barrier in front of us that's higher, so we can keep going forward till we hit the barrier. So it's not a problem at all. But once we have our attack all the way at the barrier, take a run jump over to a care badge that you throw over here. Make your way up this hill straight ahead. And then from up this hill, we'll have the height advantage of being able to actually jump on top of the higher barrier now, which is where we're trying to get to. Now, I won't be personally being able to actually go along the whole barrier outside the map. I'm not going to show you that, because my friend couldn't guide me worth shit. I kept falling off. He kept failing to guide me correctly. And I'll show you how hard it is to actually guide someone in a second. But instead, I end up guiding my friend around the map, and I'll be showing you that. But I will show you the very beginning of the barrier. So here it is. I jump right at the corner. That's where I usually find it. If not, get someone on spectating and kind of checking it for you. It's the best way to do it. So now, once you're here, you can like just kind of lay down. You can see the barrier yourself. Be very careful. Once again, if you're not like sure about it, get your friend to check it for you. And then he can kind of guide you, saying left, right, forward, backwards, whatever. Now this, right at the very beginning, the barrier is quite easily seen. Later on, it's basically invisible. So you're going to have to take your friend's guidance really carefully on how to get through and all that. So from here, obviously you can see the barrier here quite simply. Now once you get to this point, you can either go left or right. So it's like this little barrier that leads out from the map and then goes left or right. So now I'm going to be viewing my friend. I'm going to do it from the very beginning so you got an idea of where he's at. Now, basically what I'm going to be doing, I'm going to be spectating him and like using the barrier. Now there's a glitch with the spectating camera, because on Black Ops for some reason the camera can't go up and down, but if you put on default alt, it engages the other triggers to actually be able to go up and down, which is quite neat. So that way I can check like going over the barrier and under the barrier, well over the barrier, and I can check each side. I can use the spectating camera to push into the barrier to feel where it is, so I can tell if a corner is coming up or whatever. So basically, I'll just keep going ahead of where he's at. He's laying down so he can't fall off going left and right. He can only fall off going forward. So the only time he can really fall off is when he gets to a corner. And that's because if he keeps going straight and it comes to like a 90-degree corner, he's going to keep going straight. He's going to fall off. So right here, I'm telling him to turn very carefully, and I'm telling him what angle to turn on. So when you get to a corner, tell him to slow down his speed, and then basically once he gets enough to the corner, just kind of like go really slow, like say like a foot forward, just like a tiny bit more, tiny bit more, tiny bit more. And then when he finally gets to the corner, get him to stand up, get him to turn in the right direction, and then take a step forward in the right direction. If he is in the right direction, make sure you can spectate him and actually guide him in the right direction. And then when you can actually tell him which angle the barrier is going at, like how much it's turning, you adjust his turning to what you see. So you tell him how much to turn, then he takes a step forward, lays down, and then proceeds again to the next corner, to the next, and you'll be going all the way around the entire map. The one problem with this is that you can only spectate so far with the camera, so it's kind of hard to tell. There's only one situation where this is going to come a problem, which is at the very beginning, luckily. So you might not be able to tell between what the barrier, if it's a spectating barrier or if it's the actual barrier that he's on. You can tell if you can use the spectating camera, if you can use your spectating camera to go over the barrier. If you can't go over the barrier, that means you're hitting the actual spectating barrier where it limits you to how far you can go outside the map. Luckily though, once he gets past that spot where you can't spectate any further, you can spectate him and you can appear on the other side of the barrier. So that way you can keep spectating him and guiding him along the way. It's just you can't get out there alone unless you use a different kind of glitch that I don't need to mention because it's not really necessary in this case. It's just, it gets you past the spectating barrier without having to have someone past it already. So if you spectate someone past the barrier out there, you can obviously get past that barrier, so it doesn't matter at that point. But for now, we don't need to know that. So I'm gonna show you. I'm gonna stop the fast motion here for a second, just so you guys can get an idea of how far we actually do get outside this map. We're not even halfway around it yet, and see how far he has to go. I'm checking how far the next corner is. This is the biggest straightaway probably. It's not till quite a while where the next corner is. But I'm gonna stop this speeding up here, and I'm gonna show you how far we actually are outside the map. See this big mountain here? I'll pause the video right here. See, that's the actual map here. We went all the way out, went all the way around. We're going to be going around the entire map in a circle, so we're not even halfway there yet. But there is a lot of straightaways, especially this straightaway here will definitely catch up. I figured he was okay right here, that's why I went up to go check. And now we'll go back to actually doing this again. But back to the idea of why there's not many other glitches besides care package glitches. There are very few, like the gunship aimbot glitch that I found back on back near the end of Black Ops that we discovered. And that glitch, it applies to basically every map, but it's only on private match. I'm not going to upload like different glitches that are on different game modes and all that, because most of them have been patched, to be honest. The only glitch that actually has withstood the standard of time right now is the care package glitch. They tried patching it twice on us, and they failed both times, and it seems to be unpatchable at this point, without actually interfering with the game so much that it becomes a huge patch. Because they basically have to change the physics of the game in order to actually be able to change how the care package glitch works. So the care package glitch seems to be the most valuable glitch on multiplayer, and I'm not going to be getting into online glitches. First off, I don't approve of cheating online. I only do glitches for the fun exploration. To me, it's just fun to explore different areas that are just basically uncharted to gamers. It's kind of fun to do. I just like to be able to explore. It's basically like getting a free map pack, really, in my opinion. And it's just fun to do it. It's fun to explore just kind of areas that you don't really know about, so it's just kind of like all new to you. It's just kind of fun. It's really rewarding when you find a glitch, and it's just really fun to do with friends, having a fun time rather than always like competing at glitches and all that. Well, not glitches, but gaming, like online games. It's kind of fun to have like teamwork and actually like kind of glitch and all that. So I'm not gonna actually do much other than the care package glitches. There might be a few, maybe, but it's just because there's not many on Black Ops. Because Black Ops, it basically barriers the hell out of everything in the maps. Like when we first found like glitching like on Black Ops, like we realized there was no way of boosting each other. Even if there was like a shotgun jump or anything, where are we gonna get? Because there's no ledges on any buildings. All the ledges are just straight up walls. There's nothing on the buildings. There's detail on the buildings, but half of it's fake, or half of it you can't get to because there's a barrier in front of it. So everything is like a box. There's nothing. There's no like edges or anything. And all the detail is just detail. It's not real. It's not standable on. You can't jump on those type of things. And the sky mirrors are so low in the map you can't even get on them. So we knew that we had to adapt to that change, and the only way to adapt to a change like that is being able to breach. Breach basically gets rid of all those like things that hinder your glitching, and it allows you to open up more options by breaching. Because breaching can almost get you just about anywhere in the map, unless there's death barrier zones, which in this case the only death barrier zone is below the map and on top of the sky barrier. So we can basically go exploring all outside the map with some limitations, but we can pretty much go everywhere. So breaching was the best method that we had to come up with. So that's what happened when Black Ops first came out. We knew we had to find a breaching technique, otherwise we wouldn't have been able to find many glitches, other than zombies of course. But we had a Bowie knife glitch technically on zombies, but then Treyarch patched that after a while, even though we had so much more to show you on that, which was really unfortunate. Like, we had so many glitches coming on zombies. Like, we had like a Derize, a bunch of like roof ledges, a roof outside of Derize getting on, as well as a few things on Ascension. I think there's an area outside Ascension I could get on with Bowie knife glitching. There were so many more areas that we were going to try show getting with the Bowie knife. Like, it was insane, but we apparently Treyarch didn't like it anymore, and they patched it after we were able to get almost everywhere. We got outside of Kino the first time. We had so many things. But anyways, back to the point is that there's not many other glitches on multiplayer that I'm covering, because like zombies I'm not really covering. I'm just covering multiplayer glitches at the moment. Zombies, it seems like it's kind of come to a standstill, especially with Black Ops 2 coming out. Like, zombies pretty much conquered. Plus, sorry, commentating too long, my voice is almost like cracking up here. Sorry about that. Alright, it's kind of hard when you commentate for 17 minutes straight, not or like problems with your voice. My voice is getting like all dry right now. But that's basically my point. There's not going to be much glitches, unfortunately, because Treyarch is really hard at getting down on glitches, whereas Infinity Ward is pretty lean back. The only thing that really patches is the odd simple glitch at the very start of the game, and maybe elevators on Modern Warfare 2. Other than that, they're pretty lean back. So most of the time, these are going to be care badge glitches, which are fun. I think a lot of people just don't understand care badge glitches, but once again, just message me. I've already been helping tons of people by messaging me, and I've been able to get them to understand the care badge glitching fantastically. So just message me and I can help you out with that. I'm actually going to be adding a guy later on to actually help him out. But I won't be able to do that all the time. Just in this situation, he couldn't really understand it. But anyways, just get an idea of how far we got outside jungle. I'll show you here in a second. But anyways, hope you guys enjoyed the video. We got launch coming up next, I believe. So I'll see you guys later.